from all of us at Ashesi, we think this is an extremely exciting partnership. It's when we first learned about the reach out and the work that was being done to establish the Women in Tech Incubator, we recognized very quickly that it very much aligns with Ashesi's philosophy and the advocacy we have been also engaged in since our inception almost 19 years ago, to bring more women to the table and to support more women across the work that we do and across all the spaces that we work in. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with the Ashesi, the mission of the university since we started has been to educate ethical entrepreneurial leaders in Africa. And our thinking has been that if you take pretty much most of the problems you'd see across the world, but especially in Africa, you would find that really the key driver to helping address some of these things is strong leadership. And leadership to not only help think through the complex problems, but help inspire teams and help inspire people to move towards addressing some of the very aggressive problems we face. And you know, with this program, there are two key ways in which we align with Standard Chartered and other partners on this. And the first is around philosophy of entrepreneurship, the idea that helping people develop the skill to solve complex problems and helping people think like problem solvers is key to moving and to progressing Ghana and our continent at large. And since inception, I think roughly uh, 1 out of every 25 of our graduates has gone on to start their own businesses at Ashesi. But beyond our students and our graduates starting their own businesses, we've also been very intentional about helping students see themselves as entrepreneurs, regardless of where they find themselves. So even within established businesses, you find that Ashesi graduates are known for helping champion new initiatives, new ideas, and new businesses. So this excitement about entrepreneurship and this interest in helping grow more entrepreneurs is one that we've held very dearly at Ashesi for a while. But also gender equity has been a key philosophy for the work we do. And when you think of the fact that higher education institutions and higher education classrooms serve as a key pipeline over the long term to different leadership spaces in the continent, we have been publicly and very openly advocating for higher education institutions to prioritize gender balance, to prioritize gender inclusion in the classroom and across the leadership of higher education institutions. And so at Ashesi today, out of our over 1,500 graduates, nearly 1,200 students, we have been able to maintain a one-to-one gender ratio, an almost equal 50-50 split between men and women in our classrooms. But also, when we first established our engineering program in 2015, we were, I think, one of the very first engineering institutions in Ghana to publicly state that a goal for our program would be to ensure that we hit gender parity within our engineering program, with the recognition of sort of some of the statistics that have been shared, the recognition of the imbalance in technology and in STEM and in engineering across the world. So we decided that gender balance within the classroom is going to be a key metric for our recruitment program and for our engineering classrooms. Today, we have 40% women in our engineering classroom, and the plan is to still aim for the 50-50 split. And I was very, when the call started, I did notice, rightly so, that I was going to be the only man speaking on this program. And so I saw that and I said, yes, more of this, because if you joined a lot of panels, you'd always see it almost always tip the other way. So I am honored to be amongst an incredibly distinguished group of women. And I promise to speak very briefly and then step off and get out of the way. But I think the Women in Tech program from the that has been is being launched today. It's important, and if you've paid attention to some of the news that has come out of this year around COVID and around the challenges that COVID is going to bring in the years ahead, there's very clear evidence that women-owned businesses and women-led businesses have been very adversely affected, more so than businesses led by men. And so I'm sure this program was conceptualized, and the thinking around it had started long before COVID came. But COVID has made it even more urgent for the world that we are about to move into over the next years. And I'll share a story from Ashesi as to why having women in STEM spaces can be extremely important. This year, roughly a few weeks ago, a story was on the Ashesi website about a woman who had won a German science competition and was going to represent Ghana at a virtual event being hosted from Berlin for the Berlin Science Week. And her project had been one that she had worked, she's an Ashesi student. Her project had been one that she had worked on over her senior year on campus. And she had taken her experiences, seeing and hearing from and listening to women who had had preterm babies, and so babies who were born prematurely, and some of the challenges that they had faced, especially in parts of rural Ghana, where it's very expensive for women in rural Ghana to be able to pay for incubator services. And a lot of mothers were losing their children because they just couldn't afford the hospital care. And a lot of hospitals in rural Ghana just didn't have enough equipment to support preterm babies. And so she came to Ashesi, did engineering, and in her final year, she decided that the problem she was going to tackle was developing a low-cost incubator that could basically be sent to different homes for women who had preterm babies to be able to provide healthcare for their babies at home and with the support of doctors. And this, she called it the IncuCrib. It serves as an incubator, but also provides different needs for the baby. It's able to communicate electronically to a doctor's device, providing statistics for the baby and how the baby was faring. And she had built it, very small prototype. And her goal is to be able to deploy this in a very strong way to different rural parts of not just Ghana but Africa, if she's able to be able to support mothers. And when you think of this problem that she took on to solve, um, in all my experiences at Ashesi, if you talk with the men in our engineering program, you never find men who are thinking of solving problems for mothers with preterm babies, or who are thinking of solving, as one student did, uh, designing a device that could hang clothes, and when it started to rain, retract and cover the clothes so the clothes wouldn't get wet. The women in our engineering program, you find, have been able to bring a unique perspective on problems that exist within our homes, our workplaces, our communities, our country, that you often wouldn't find the men in the classroom paying that much attention to as they think through the projects they develop. And so we've seen in a very clear way that when you empower women and you bring women into skills and capacity building, and you sort of give the same opportunities that for decades now men have been afforded that women have not been, we find that it's not only beneficial to women, but it's beneficial to everyone, to both men and women, because the perspectives we see being introduced are, just generally important for the progress of society. And so the Women in Tech Incubator and its mission to support women-led businesses in technology, inspire more women-led businesses in technology, I think is going to be transformative in so many ways. And from all of us at Ashesi, I think we're extremely grateful to be part of this journey. And we hope that this partnership is one that will last for a long time. We hope that it's one that will inspire um, other institutions and other organizations to also engage in the challenge of helping bring more balance across all the different organizations and spaces we work in. And I couldn't think of a better partner or better partners than the GCIC and Standard Chartered to make this happen. And I really look forward to the rest of the event. And thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be the lone man on this panel. And I'm really excited to listen to everyone else. Thank you.